So one thing I've already kind of hinted at is something called the assignment operator. And that is a thing that looks like this. So it's, the greater than, less than symbol, and then a dash. So shift comma is how you get this one, and then the dash is next to the 0 on your keyboard. And you will make use of this all the time. So you can see up here when I read in that data, I assigned the data contained in empty cars to something named arbitrarily DF. I use it to signify data frame. And over in our environment, we can see that, hey, that object, that thing now exists over here. Since that's a data frame, we can see it has 32 observations of 11 variables. But we can use that in a number of different ways. So let's say that, we're running a study and we have a sample size, but we need to use this sample size kind of over and over and over again in some of our calculations or other instances. And so we might say in our sample size is 250, arbitrary, And so when we run that, again, I hit Control Enter. When we run that, we now see over here an addition to our environment, a new thing. So now in is equal to 250 because we said that. We set that over here. So we might say here we're going to set our sample size like that, okay? But what that allows us to do then is do things like, well, what if we added 43 to our sample size? So all I typed here was I typed in, I didn't type 250. And so we can run that, and down here we see it's treating in as though it were 250 and adding 43 to it, okay? So that's one way. We can also, make a list. And I think I gave an example of like fruits or something in the book. Fruits list. It's technically a vector. And so, maybe we wanted to make something called fruits, and we wanted it to contain just a certain number of fruits or a certain subset of all the fruits that exist. And so we would collect those. That's what that C means. More on that later. And we would say, all right, so maybe let's put tomato. Tomato is also a color. That's why it changes a color. Maybe we'll put watermelon. Maybe we'll put avocados are technically fruits. Avocado. And maybe we'll put lime, like that. And so if we run this line, again, I hit Control Enter, nothing really happens. But if we look over here now, we see that the thing called fruits now exists. It is a character vector with 4 entries, and it starts giving you kind of the pre-look at what it looks like. And so, we can do that. What we'll see later is that sometimes we'll want to assign subsets of our data to new objects just to make it easier to work with. Sometimes we might use it to make specific colors that we wanted to use in our graphs. I do this frequently, if I want to specify certain colors. So I might say I want to use green, I want to use blue, I want to use violet, and I want to use yellow. Those would probably not actually be good colors to use together for a number of reasons, but if I wanted to do that, then I could do that. Again, we see now we have a new thing up here, and I could then use this word, colors, as an argument when I'm graphing. So it's kind of collecting things. So you will use, again, that assignment operator over and over and over again.